All right, after lots of effort, we got this to record, so let's utilize it. So this is a really, really tricky problem, and sorry I've got some other stuff going on, but this is the problem that we're looking at, right? Negative 9.7, negative 8/10, negative 7.8, and a positive 3.8. Here's what makes this problem so tricky. With multiplication, unlike addition, it doesn't actually really matter which numbers are negative. What matters is how many negatives we have. So I've got a negative here, so I've got one negative. I've got a negative here, so I've got two negatives. And I've got a negative here, so I've got three negatives. Well, a negative times a negative would make a positive. But when there's a leftover negative, like what we see right here, the answer will be a negative number. So what we're looking for is any other multiplication expression that uses the same numbers and will come out to be a negative result. We don't actually care what the result is because we're not asked to calculate it. We're just asked to find which would be equivalent to it. So if we go look at that, one negative, two negatives, three negatives. Now check, are the numbers the same? 9.7, 8/10, 7.8, 3.8. Same numbers and also three negatives. Now the negatives aren't on the same numbers, but that doesn't matter actually. Because if we have three negatives involved in the multiplication, it will get a negative answer. So Sully, what I'm trying to say here is this problem will get negative, and actually if I calculate it really quickly, 9.7, 0.8, 7.8, 3.8. This is 230.0064. It's a really gross number. Well, not really gross. But then option A, there in our multiple choice options, 9.7 times negative 0.8 times negative 7.8 times negative 3.8. And really, we could put all these in parentheses if we want to clean it up. Three negatives will give me a negative answer. And if I multiply these numbers together, I'm going to get the same answer I just had of negative 230.0064. So A actually is an option there because there are also three negatives. B is not an option because there are only two negatives in B, and it will not come out to be negative. It would come out to be positive. Does that make sense? So what we're really looking for in these equivalent expression problems are, is the answer going to be positive or negative? And then separately, are we using the same numbers that we had? So like 9.7, 0.8, 7.8, 3.8, we used the same numbers. We just moved where the negatives were, but that doesn't actually make a difference. So, Miss Meyer, what I find funny is my computer just kicked on like an extra fan because of how much I'm trying to do with it at one time. Yeah, and I like the computer can barely handle it. So, oh, I was still recording. That's fun. That'll be a fun end of the video. Goodbye.